I heard the gun before I saw the groom. A single, sharp crack split the room. The chandelier trembled above the crowd, and silence fell like dust. Men froze with their hands still inside their jackets. I didn't move. I stood in a white dress that wasn't mine and stared at the man every soul in this building feared. Dante Romano, the ruthless Mafia King of the West Side. He was tall, calm, dressed in black like the night itself. His eyes were sharp, cold, unreadable. My father, Viktor Kolev, had sold me to him as punishment. I wasn't the daughter my father wanted. He called me stubborn, disobedient, and worse. When I refused to marry one of his allies, he decided to teach me a lesson. His lesson was to trade me like a broken toy to his greatest rival. Dante looked at me for a long, slow moment. "Mrs. Romano," he said, even though we weren't yet married. I lifted my chin. "You could have just said quiet instead of shooting," I said. The room stiffened. One guard coughed to hide a laugh. Dante's expression didn't change, but I caught a flicker in his eyes. Interest, maybe. That was the first time I realized this man didn't scare me. Not yet. That night, Dante's men took my phone, my shoes, even my name. I was Arya Romano now. We drove through the sleeping city in 3 black cars. I memorized every turn out of habit. Left, right, bridge, hard right. I'd always had a mind for patterns, for numbers, for small things people missed. My father called it useless. Dante hadn't yet decided what to call it. His house, or fortress, was huge. Stone walls, iron gates, cameras that blinked like eyes. Inside, everything was clean, cold, perfect. It felt more like a museum than a home. He didn't speak as we entered the dining room. Food was already served. "Eat," he ordered. "You first," I said. "You don't trust your kitchen." A few guards glanced at each other. Without a word, Dante tore a piece of bread in half, ate one, and placed the other on my plate. I took it, bit it, and nodded. Now I'm hungry. That earned the faintest curve of his lips. Just a hint. I counted that as my first victory. Days passed. I learned the halls, the guards' names, the rhythm of the place. Dante was calm, efficient, almost mechanical. Everyone feared him. But I watched him differently. I noticed his silence had a reason. It wasn't emptiness, it was control. On the 4th day, he slid a stack of papers toward me during lunch. "You were a problem for your father," he said. "I was an embarrassment," I replied. He nodded once. "Find the errors." Numbers filled the page. Accounts, routes, shipments. My eyes found it quickly, a pattern too perfect to be random. Someone was stealing from him and hiding it beneath false mistakes. "Here," I said, circling 3 points. "This looks like skimming, but it's a cover. The real theft is underneath." He studied me quietly. "You see that fast?" "It's how my brain works," I said. He leaned back, thoughtful. "I wanted to see how you see." That was when I realized he hadn't brought me here to break me. He was trying to understand me. And that was far more dangerous. The house had a library. I spent most nights there, pretending to read, really just thinking. One evening, Dante came in, quiet as always. "Do you miss your father?" he asked. "No," I said. He tilted his head. "Even a little?" I met his eyes. "Do you?" He looked almost surprised. "He sold you," he said finally. "Told me you were disobedient. That if I couldn't tame you, I should destroy you." My stomach nodded. "And what did you say?" I asked. "I said I don't take orders." Something in me softened. Maybe for the first time since I was sold. "He hates you because you don't fear him," Dante said. "Men like that can't stand what they can't control." "And you?" I whispered. "Do you need fear?" He stepped closer, the shadows cutting across his face. "Yes, but not from you." My breath caught. For a second, the silence between us wasn't cold. It was heavy, alive, electric. I didn't know it then, but that moment, the moment he admitted he didn't want my fear, was when I started to fall. The rain started as we left a meeting on the docks, thin drops, then a hard sheet that made the street shine like glass. Our car led. One followed close behind. Dante sat beside me, calm, silent, watching the wipers cut the storm. I checked the side mirror and felt it, the wrongness. A pair of headlights came up too fast, too tight, like a predator breathing down our neck. "Left," I said. The driver didn't hear me over the rain. "What?" "Left now." I grabbed the wheel and yanked. The car lurched, tires screamed. We missed the intersection by a heartbeat. A truck blasted through the red light we should have crossed. It slammed straight into the car behind us. Metal folded. A bloom of flame punched into the rain. "Go," Dante said, voice low, steady. We shot forward. Another sedan slid out of an alley to block us. I tasted copper. The driver swore and reached for the gear. "Hold," Dante said. He was out in the storm before I could breathe. 4 shots in a clean rhythm. The blocking car dropped. He slid back into the seat, hair wet, breath even. We didn't talk until the garage door shut behind us and the rain became a dull drum on the roof. My hands were shaking. He saw it. His hand lifted, paused, then landed on mine. Warm, sure. "You saved us," he said. "I saw it," I whispered. The speed, the angle. It didn't fit. His eyes were different then. Less remote, more aware. "Special," he said softly, like a truth he had decided to keep. I held his gaze and didn't look away. "Find Salvo," he told his men. "Alive." They found him with a suitcase and a one-way ticket. He begged, he lied, he tried to make it small. He said he slipped. He said he needed money. He said he was weak. "Lies," I said. "He's covering someone bigger." "Who?" Dante asked. Salvo broke when Dante didn't blink. "Victor," he said. My father's name felt like smoke in my mouth. He promised a king's chair. Said the girl would soften you. Said he'd burn your house and take the pieces. Dante's jaw tightened. For the first time, I saw anger in him that wasn't cold. It had heat. Not for me. For the idea that I was a weapon sent to break him. When the room emptied, he stayed. "Your father wants me dead," he said. "He wants you gone too." "I know," I said. I didn't try to hide the shake in my voice. "But I choose where I stand." "Where is that?" he asked. "Here," I said. "Next to you." He didn't move for a long second. Then he nodded once, as if we had signed something no one else could see. "Then we plan," he said. "War was easy for men like my father. It fed him, so we starved him first. We faked my escape. Cameras cut at the right second, a side door left open, a guard helped me and then vanished. We let the rumor roll. Dante can't hold her. She ran. She bit the hand that fed her. East Side wolves love a story that smells like weakness. They licked their teeth and came closer. Next, I went home, not to the mansion with mirrors and guards, but to the old building by the river where I learned to count coins and swallow insults. I sat at a cafe with a cracked window and a bitter cup. He came at noon with no guards because pride is a kind of armor. He wanted me to see he didn't need anyone to break me. "Arya," he said, "not daughter, never daughter." "Victor," I answered, "you made a mistake. I made a choice. You belong to Dante now," he said. "You return to him, or you return to me in pieces." I let the words hang. I had been pieces once. I had learned how to stand anyway. "No," I said. He blinked, slow, like a snake before a strike. "No? I am not a tool," I said. "You sold me to a wolf to watch him eat me." He didn't. He listened. He respected me. He laughed, short and dry. "Respect from a monster?" "Yes," I said. "Respect from a monster is still respect. From you, I got nothing." His hand twitched toward his jacket. I knew that twitch. He wanted me to beg. He wanted to drink my fear like wine. I didn't give it to him. Men crashed through the door with guns up. His men. The cafe owner ducked. The cup rattled. My father smiled. The first shot came from behind him. Dante's men, silent and patient as shadows, poured into the room. My father grabbed for his gun and found Dante standing in the back doorway, calm, rain still clinging to his coat. "Hello, Victor," Dante said. Fear cracked across my father's face, thin as a hairline fracture, but real. "You followed her?" Victor said. "No," Dante said. "She led me." He came to my side, not in front of me, not behind me, beside me, a small thing that felt like a mountain. "Sense," Dante said, voice even. "You hurt your own to feel tall. You poison my house to feel strong. I can end you here, or we make a deal." My father flashed his teeth. "Soft men make deals." "No deal then," Dante said. 2 minutes later, Victor was on the floor, wrists bound, not killed, uncrowned. Dante called in the East Side capos. One by one they came and saw a king reduced to meat and breath. Some knelt, some fled, some chose badly and were taken away. The board changed, the leash snapped. We left Victor to a law he had paid to ignore. This time, too many eyes watched. He didn't slip through. On the sidewalk, the city smelled like wet bread and diesel and hope. Dante's shoulder touched mine. "You were brave," he said. "So were you," I said. "I was myself." "You were more," I said. He looked at me like a man who had carried iron for years and suddenly knew what it felt like to drop it. "Come home," he said. "With you?" I asked. "With me," I said yes. People think love arrives like thunder. Ours came like morning, quiet, sure, impossible to stop. We were in the kitchen. Sunlight sat on the counters. He reached for a cup. I reached too. Our hands brushed. My body went still, like something inside me had been called by name. He turned. I lifted my face. He paused, one soldier's heartbeat, then kissed me. It wasn't greedy. It wasn't rushed. It was careful at first, as if he was reading something written on my lips, then deeper, like he recognized it. When we broke apart, I put my hand on his chest. His heart beat steady under my palm. "You're trembling," he said softly. "I'm not afraid," I said. "I'm awake." A smile, small and true, touched his mouth. We stood like that too long for coffee, not long enough for everything else. After that, we tried. That word matters. We tried to build something human inside a life sharpened by knives. We made rules. No lies, I told him, from either of us. Not to protect, not to avoid. No cages, he told me. Not for you. Not for me. He moved money into clean rivers. Companies with windows, not shutters. Wages with taxes, not blood. He let women run crews the men had broken. He cut the worst men loose and dared them to starve. "Are you trying to be good?" I asked one night, my head on his chest. "No," he said. "I'm trying to be better." "I can live with better," I said. "Stay," he said. "I am," I said. He breathed a soft sound that felt like peace. "I love you," he said. The words were simple, no gold, no bow. I had waited my whole life to hear them without fear wrapped around them. "I love you," I said back. The letter was plain, no return address. Inside, a photo of a girl with big eyes and a yellowing bruise on her cheek. The note said, "We know what you care about now. Trade the port or she dies." Rocco wrote it, a mid-boss who had grown bold in Victor's fall. He thought love made a simple lever. He thought he just had to pull. I traced the picture. "If we hand him the port, he'll come again," I said. "Fear gives him appetite." Dante nodded. "We take her. Then we close his door." We built the plan like a quiet song. I drew maps on paper and in my head. We followed money to a warehouse off Route 9. 4 guards inside, 2 outside, 1 lazy, 1 cruel. Cruel men mess up in predictable ways. The moon was a thin cut when we went. Shadows sat easy on the building. Dante wanted me to stay behind. I told him no. Stubbornness is not always wisdom, but that night it was spine. We moved like low tide. Outside, guards fell without sound. Inside, the cruel one liked to monologue. He never finished. Dante made sure of that. The lazy one raised his gun late. I cracked a shock baton across his wrist and drove my knee into his thigh. He went down. My body shook. I didn't fail. The girl was tied to a chair with tape across her mouth. I knelt in front of her, peeled the tape slow. "My name is Arya," I said. "We're leaving." Tears gathered but didn't fall. She was holding on to something, maybe pride, maybe faith. Both were good. "He said you'd trade me for a port," she whispered. "Then he doesn't know me," I said. We walked her out. Rocco arrived to his empty trap and found a note taped to the chair. "We choose people over ports." He chased us once more. It ended at a motel humming with soda machines and tired lights. 5 minutes of fight. Silence after. We walked out to a thin line of gold burning at the edge of the sky. Her name was Lena. We gave her a bright window and a clean job and a number to call at any hour. On Sundays, she brought bread and jokes. She teased Dante until he surrendered a full smile. "You're different around her," I said, rinsing plates. "I'm different around you," he said. "Good different? The only kind that matters." We married with no crowd, no cameras, just words that meant something. The library had once felt like a cage. That day, it felt like a chapel, shelves like pillars, light like blessing. He wore black. I wore a simple dress I chose myself. We didn't make fancy promises. We said what we could keep. "I'll protect you without burying you," he told me. "I'll tell you the truth even when it hurts," I told him. "We will choose each other on purpose," we both said, every day. The rings were plain. The kiss was not. He tasted like coffee and relief. We danced without music and stepped on each other's toes and laughed like we had stolen something from the world and decided to keep it. After, he touched my cheek with the back of his fingers. "Mrs. Romano," he said, like the first night, but soft now, almost tender. "Mr. Romano," I said back, but this time it felt like a door opening, not closing. We took a photo by the window, just one. I keep it in a book in the library, between pages that smell like old paper and safety. We still lived with risk. That didn't change, but fear moved out of the main room. It slept in the guest room and stayed quiet most nights. Peace is not the same as quiet. Quiet can hide rot. Peace has nothing to hide. 6 weeks after the wedding, a new ledger landed on the table. Legit business, clean payrolls, shipping schedules. It looked fine. It wasn't. I circled 3 entries without thinking. "Someone is paying twice," I said. "Once to the vendor, once to a shell." Dante leaned over my shoulder. His breath tickled my hairline. "Show me." I drew arrows. Numbers are like people. The honest ones line up. The liars stutter. "This shell traces back to a real address," I said. "It's not smart laundering, it's bait." "For who?" he asked. "For you," I said, "to drag you into a meeting you don't control." He frowned. "Why make it sloppy?" "So we'd find it fast," I said. The thought turned my stomach. "It's not a robbery. It's a trap. They want you to bring weight, to move fast, to skip your rules." "Who?" he asked again. "Someone who thinks old Dante is still here," I said. "Someone who misses the echo of your name." He was quiet for a beat. "Rocco?" "Rocco," I said. He stood and didn't pace. He never paced. He thought like a map unfolding. "Then we give him what he wants," he said, "but not how he wants it." We built another plan, not flashy, patient. We let word leak that Dante would come heavy to the meeting. We let them see the weapons, the trucks, the men. We let them think we were arrogant. That night, I stood with him on the loading dock. The air smelled like cold metal. My heartbeat counted time with the ticking of a cooling engine. "Afraid?" he asked. "Alive," I said. He nodded like that was the right answer. "Stay behind me," he said. "No," I said. "Stay beside me." His mouth tilted. "Stubborn," he said. "Working out so far," I said. We moved. Their trap sprung. Ours closed first. Lights died. Doors locked. Our quiet men were already in the rafters. Rocco shouted into the dark, promising blood and fire. He got neither. He got cuffs and silence. When the lights came back, he saw me first, not Dante. Me. I wanted that. He needed to understand what kind of war he had picked. "You should fear me," he spat. "I don't," I said. "You mistake noise for power." He looked at Dante. "She makes you weak." Dante didn't blink. "She makes me precise." Rocco was led away into a system he couldn't pay. That's the other thing we built while the world watched our rings. We built witnesses. We built paper. We built exits for people who wanted out and walls for those who wanted in. Later, in the quiet of our kitchen, we finally ate. Warm bread, soft cheese, olives like little moons. "You change the way I fight," he said. "You change the way I'm seen," I said. "We're not saved," he said. "No," I said. "We're choosing." He lifted my hand and kissed my knuckles, the simple kind of sacred. "Every day," he said. "Every day," I answered. We thought peace had finally come, but peace in this world is never real. It was a fragile glass waiting for one careless breath. The trouble started quietly. A man named Marco, one of Dante's old lieutenants, asked for a meeting. He said it was about new business. But the moment I saw him, my stomach turned. His smile didn't reach his eyes. His hands fidgeted. Small things most people missed, but not me. After he left, I told Dante, he's hiding something. Dante trusted his gut. I trusted patterns. Together, we found it. A deal Marco was brokering under Dante's name, selling weapons through a shell company. The documents used our new clean businesses as cover. Dante's anger didn't explode. It froze. "He's using what we built to bury us," he said. "Then we dig him out," I said. But what we didn't know was that Marco wasn't working alone. Someone else was behind him, someone who knew how we thought, how we planned, and where we slept. A ghost from the east side. Someone I thought I'd left behind. It was Ivan, my cousin, my father's shadow, the one who never smiled, even as a boy. He had been the one whispering in my father's ear since I was little, the one who called me witch because of my memory. Now he had crossed into Dante's territory, using Marco as his hand. Ivan didn't want power, he wanted revenge. He blamed me for Victor's fall. He blamed Dante for taking me in. The shell company was bait for something bigger, a planned assassination, staged as a police raid. "They'll hit the warehouse next Friday," I told Dante, tracing the code I'd found in Marco's phone logs. "They'll pretend it's law enforcement. By the time the truth comes out, you'll be gone." Dante studied me. "You shouldn't have to live this way." "I was born into it," I said, "but I get to choose what I do with it." We planned again, quiet, careful, sharp. But something in him was changing. He stopped sleeping. He started pacing. He had always been the calm in chaos. Now he was the storm trying to protect the calm. "You think I can't handle danger," I said one night when I found him alone in the library. "I think I can't lose you," he said. The words broke me in half. No one had ever said that before, not my father, not anyone, but love can make smart people foolish. And the next move he made nearly cost him everything. Friday came. We set up decoys, fake shipments, double locations. The warehouse they planned to hit was empty, except for cameras hidden in the rafters. But Dante didn't tell me something. He went himself. I found out an hour later when one of his men rushed into the house, out of breath. "He's gone to the docks. Alone." I grabbed a gun and keys before the words even finished echoing. The drive felt endless. The night smelled like gasoline and salt. When I reached the docks, lights flashed and men shouted. Police cars, real and fake, blurred together. Gunfire cracked the air. "Dante!" I screamed, ducking behind a crate. He was there, fighting, bleeding, furious. Marco lay on the ground, shot through the shoulder. Ivan was nowhere in sight. Then a voice behind me whispered, "You really think love makes you safe, little Arya?" I turned, heart hammering. Ivan stepped out of the shadows, gun in hand, face calm as stone. "It's poetic," he said. "You were the curse. Now you'll die for him." He fired. I dropped behind a metal drum as the bullet sang past. I fired back. It hit his arm. He swore, dropped the gun, and ran. Dante found me minutes later, wild-eyed and bleeding from a graze on his side. He pulled me against him so tight I couldn't breathe. "Don't you ever run into gunfire for me again," he said, voice breaking for the first time. "Then stop making me chase you," I whispered. We made it back alive, but something changed. Dante's wound healed, his silence didn't. He blamed himself for letting me get hurt. He stopped looking me in the eye. He slept in the office, ate standing up, answered calls that weren't urgent just to avoid sitting beside me. It broke me more than the bullet. One night, I snapped. "You can fight armies but not your own guilt?" He froze at the doorway. "You don't understand." "Then make me." He turned slowly. His eyes were tired, not cold. "If something happens to you, it ends me. I can't think straight knowing that." "And you think locking me away fixes that?" He sighed. "It keeps you alive." "No," I said, stepping closer. "It kills us slower." He looked down at me, this man who had made death his business, and said, "Then tell me what to do." "Kiss me," I said. He did, hard, desperate, painful. That kiss tasted like surrender and survival, like everything we'd lost and found in the same breath. After that, he didn't sleep in the office again. We found Ivan 3 weeks later in a rented apartment near the edge of the city. He was building something worse, a bomb meant for Dante's convoy, disguised in one of our own supply trucks. When we arrived, he laughed. "You two really think love changes blood?" "No," I said, "but it changes legacy." He aimed a gun at Dante, but this time I didn't hesitate. The shot echoed. He fell back. The gun slid from his hand. He looked at me as the light drained from his eyes. "You're just like him," he whispered. I shook my head. "No, I ended what he started." Dante pulled me back, arms around me, both of us shaking. It was over, not just the war, but the curse of my bloodline. After Ivan's death, the city finally went still. No raids, no wars, no whispers. For the first time, we lived days that felt like hours. We opened a community business, a small restaurant on the corner that gave jobs to kids who used to run errands for the streets. Dante still ran the empire, but differently now, cleaner, quieter, human. One morning, I woke before him and watched the sunlight slide across his face. For a man who'd once been made of stone, he looked so soft in sleep. I thought of all the things that brought us here, gunfire, betrayal, blood, forgiveness, and how, somehow, love had survived it all. He stirred, eyes half open. "What are you staring at?" "You," I said, "making sure you're real." He smiled. "Still stubborn." "Still special," I said. He reached for my hand and kissed it. "Still mine." And for once, it didn't sound like possession. It sounded like home. If you loved this story, please subscribe, like, and comment your favorite part below. Was it the moment I stood up to my father, the night of the rain and gunfire, or when Dante finally said, "I love you"? Your support keeps more stories like the Mafia King's stubborn bride coming every week.